Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tapping with Tristan. Got Tristan here. Looking forward to this one. This is going to be a real good. We got a special guest here, but before we get into it, please make sure that y'all hit that subscribe button, support us in this beautiful content that we got. Make sure y'all click that bell so y'all get notified when we get some more of this content. And again, I just said we got a special guest, so we're going to deep dive into his story. And I don't want to hold you guys too long, so we're gonna get right into it. We got Cheikh Mbodj. Talk to him, Cheikh.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Cheikh Mbodj. Yeah, I was born in Dakar, Senegal. Uh, you know, just fell in love with the game of basketball over there because like we live by the basketball court, and so yeah, I mean, basketball just brought me, you know, traveling all over the place and stuff like a nomad. So yeah.
Absolutely, boss man. So we're gonna kind of tie in our history and everything like that.
Right.
Let's go back to the beginning. Let's go back. Let's go back to in Senegal. You know what I mean? What was it like childhood, early years for Cheikh?
Oh man, like it was just like running around just like any kid, all over the place, man. Like we live by the basketball court, so I mean initially I used to play soccer as a kid, and my cousin used to play basketball, so like she used to go on the court and take me with her, and I used to rebound for her, help her, work out and things like that, and yeah, that's how I started, so at that time I was doing soccer and judo, and then I started playing basketball as well. So.
What age was that, man, when you was doing these things, man? And what was the atmosphere going on in Senegal? We're gonna have a lot of audience that's in the United States of America and all over
Yeah.
the globe. So tell us a little bit about that.
So yeah, I mean, like Senegal, like the first sport like is soccer. So as a kid, like you just start playing soccer and stuff. And like for the girls, most of them they just start playing basketball because they couldn't play soccer and stuff. So so yeah, when I was about 8 years old, so I used to rebound for my cousin and stuff like that. She was the true hooper, and then like we started what's the name? Like we used to start early in the morning, work out and stuff like that. She would, tell me, oh yeah, like you could be a great basketball player someday. But at that time, I wasn't thinking. I mean, I just focused on soccer and judo. And so one day, about the age of 12, that's when I started taking it seriously. Like at 8, I used to just play playgrounds and stuff. So by 12, there was a team, neighborhood team. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna give it a shot, along with playing soccer and judo as well. Because my dad was like, he used to do judo,
Okay.
so that's why I was into that sport, into that martial art too. So
So was
yeah,
you
man.
so did we have so you got your dad doing judo? Are there any siblings and everything like that? Because judo is like a form of martial arts, man. How did
Right,
that,
right.
was you a tall kid? Because you're a tall grown up, you're a tall adult. Let's talk about that.
Yeah,
That's gotta be something
that
crazy.
part.
Doing judo.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like doing judo, I was just like, just like a regular sized kid at that time and stuff. But
Okay.
this was a while. Like I started early, so when I was like, this is when I started realizing, I gotta choose, among, I mean, basketball, judo, and soccer. I gotta choose one sport because I was getting taller. So the first time I say I'm gonna let soccer go was like when we moved into a new neighborhood, and I saw some group of kids playing around. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go play with them soccer and stuff. Maybe like, I mean, the neighborhood team is solid. So I got there, and I kind of looked at them. They was kind of short, and I was like, hey guys, I want to join you guys and play. Do you guys have a local team? And they told me, no, man, like you got to go play with kids your age. So they thought I was like older because I'm
Because you're
tall.
older, because your height.
Yeah. So I told them, oh no, I'm only 12 years old. They're like, oh no way. Like, there's no way, because like, they were 13-year-olds and stuff like that,
How tall?
playing.
How tall was you around at 12? How tall was you about?
I was pretty tall. I cannot say the exact height and stuff, but I was pretty tall, like for my age and stuff. So all I could say is like I was getting closer to my dad. My dad was like That's all I used to say. And my dad used to hate it. So, but yeah,
So now you're starting to get into this basketball thing. You said you got
right.
a female cousin that's doing it.
Mhm.
Are you any good? You know what I'm saying? Are you any good? And how is we balancing all of these different sports with school? How'd that go?
So usually like judo used to be only on the weekends. Basketball also like we used to play soccer. So we play soccer and then the basketball court was like right next, to the soccer field as well. So we used to play soccer and then as soon as we finished, we just hop on the basketball court and just play some playgrounds, one-on-one, two-on-twos. This is before I took it seriously. So when I started taking it seriously, that's when I, got rid of soccer and I kept doing judo and stuff. So when I was being recruited to go to this big academy in Senegal, the guy that was running it, he was working for the NBA, the academy called Seed Academy. So
Okay.
then I had to sit down with my dad. I'm like, Dad, okay, they offered me to go to this academy and stuff, to be like full in, into the basketball and all that stuff, and school as well. So I was a pretty good student too. So my dad like didn't, you know, well in his mind he was like, okay, there's no way in Africa they have schools like that where they're gonna take you in, give you food, clothing, shoes, and then we were sponsored by Nike too. So
He's
we're
like, I
like,
don't believe
so
this, man. I don't believe
see,
this.
yeah, yeah,
Go
yeah.
back to judo
So
class.
exactly. So at that time he was in France. So he was like, okay, you know what? I'm about to finish up in like 1 month. So when I come there, I gotta come check it out. So before I give you the green light to go. So
Right.
when he came, that summer he came. So I'm the Gullifall. He's the guy that like like the ball right now. So he's the president of the ball right now. So like that's that tournament where J. Cole went to and all that. So
Yeah, the one in Rwanda
so
and everything.
yeah. So I'm the
He's the
Gullifall.
president for that.
Yeah, exactly. He's the president of all that. So he was the president of NBA Africa as well. But at that time, he was just like the president of scouting for the Dallas Mavericks. But he owned like that school. He put in place that school
Say his
in
name for me
Africa.
one more time. Say his name for me one more time.
Amadou Gallo.
Okay, keep it going.
So
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 he's
so
an
yeah,
expert for Dallas Mavericks, but he's
yeah.
in the Seed Academy.
So
He's like, I need you there.
yeah. So he was in City Academy. Like we just met like under some funny circumstances. So I was just playing, playing basketball. I mean, in the neighborhood, and then he came in and like he saw me and stuff like playing, and then he was telling me about his school and stuff like that, saying, "Yeah, I have a school. Like I want you to come there if you can." And then like two of his coaches, at that time they was working some kids that were in the academy. They were all different. Like you see these kids, like like there's some true hoopers and stuff.
Yeah,
So like so they used to work out doing this. They used to work out in our neighborhood, on the basketball in our neighborhood. So the two coaches approached my mom and talked to them because they used to see me every morning going there, working on my craft. And then one day they just tell me, okay, just hop in and play 5-on-5 with us. And then I was playing, they saw me and they was like, okay, so like we want him, we want to get him. So but yeah, that summer my dad came. So when he came, like we went and met up with the Gullah Fall. And like with this, so basically he was just telling him what the school is about and stuff. So my dad at first he couldn't imagine that. I mean, he couldn't fathom there's something like that. Like this
his
was the
mind was
second year of
blown.
opening. Yeah, his mind was blown. Like he was just saying like, okay, there's no way in Africa, like you take a school, put 25 kids in there, and then it's sponsored by Nike and all that. So you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So yeah, it was a different thing. But yeah, just like that, I joined Cedar Academy. And
So your
yep,
dad gave it the green light. How old were
yep,
you? And what was your feeling? Because you're like, this is sponsored by Nike. This
right,
jersey is a part of the NBA.
right.
I heard of that. I know what's going on. Like, what was this? Was this like blowing your mind as well? And what was your age?
I mean, I was mind blown for sure because I was like, okay, I kept hearing people saying, okay, like he's good, but I didn't know how good I was, like until those guys gave me that opportunity because I was like, there are many kids in Senegal playing basketball, some of them started before me, like taking it seriously before me. But me, I took it seriously, like you know, at that age. So this was like I was about like 15, 16. So
15,
you know,
16.
joined, yeah, joined. I mean, yeah, teenage, like so. You know, took that opportunity, and yeah, that's how it started, man.
That's how I'm feeling. You know, your dad's mind is blown, but he's like, man, this is an opportunity for my son to
Right.
you know what I'm saying, to do something pretty special with his life that's unusual. I never seen anything like that. So
Exactly.
how did mom feel
So
about this?
you know what, my mom always been down with anything for me. Like when it comes to like anything that was with sports, like my mom was very, very supportive. You know, she was the first one. Like even though she had no idea how game of basketball is, played, but like she was very, very supportive. She would just make sure, like she would give me, pep talk before every day going to games and stuff. She was like, okay, just don't hurt yourself. Don't do this, don't do that. And so yeah, so it was an easy thing for her. Like of course, it was kind of hard for her to let her son go
Yeah.
into a school, because the school was about like an hour, 2 hours away, and then like it was an academy, and like we stayed there into dorms and stuff. So we were gone like sometime 2 months without seeing our parents and stuff like that. So, but that was the hardest part for her. But anything else, like she was down with it. And my dad also, like he actually started to like pay attention more to basketball, because my dad was like a soccer guy, during
Yeah.
his time. He
That's the
played
number one
soccer and
sport.
judo.
That's the number one
Yeah,
sport
exactly.
in the
Number one sport.
country.
Like exactly. So he was a professional judo master as well. So those two sports were like his main.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't know this basketball world, but I'm intrigued. My son is involved. Talk to us about
exactly.
City Academy, dude. Like, give us the rundown about that, man, because this is special. They're going
Yeah.
out scouting across this country.
Mhm.
And for those who don't know, in Senegal, there's a lot of tall guys out there.
Lot of tall
A lot of
guys out
tall
there,
guys, and we'll talk more
man.
about that. But they see
Look.
something in you as a tall individual, a young prospect
Uh-huh.
to join
Right.
this academy. And this
Mhm.
is fast forward to some of the things that we see today and some of the African players will tie into. Talk
Right,
about
right.
the early days of Seed Academy, dude.
So Seed Academy, man, like it was just a great experience, man. Like, so we got there, we were about 25 kids. All 25, like, can go. So
Right.
so like that's how it was, man. It was a great experience. Like we had like a lot of traveling. That was my first time traveling out of the country, like to go to some big time camps. There's a Basketball Without Borders. They basically selected 120 kids all across Africa. Like these were the best.
Wow.
And like, so it's like an NBA camp. So the NBA, so all these NBA guys were there. I'm talking about like some legends, walking around coaching
Name
us
some
and
names.
stuff like.
Name some names, dude.
So
Name some names.
Manu Bol was there. Kembe
Yeah.
Mutombo was there. Bunch of other guys too. Like there was some older players, but like they at that time he was like assistant coach with the Raptors. I forgot his name. Something Williams. I forgot first name, but I think yeah, he
Jerome
played for the
Williams,
Denver
maybe?
Nuggets. Like, huh?
Maybe Jerome Williams.
Yeah, probably. I just forgot the names.
Yeah, keep it going, but a bunch
Sorry.
of NBA guys. They
So
there.
so but anyways, like it was just like a huge platform, because like it was run by the NBA, and like they selected 120 kids. So like we went there for 2 weeks. We're just like all we was doing just basketball clinics. Stations. I'm talking about rebounding, shooting, dribbling, and stuff like that. And then
Yeah,
like in the
evaluating
afternoon,
you guys.
yes, yeah. So like in the afternoon we just playing 5-on-5. So like 100, it was 12 teams of like 10. So like they named the teams, NBA names and stuff. So at the end of the week, like that's when they started to select. Like out of those 120, they were selected like 40 kids out of them, and I was one of them. So like those 40 kids, like they made 2 All-Star games, and
Wow.
stuff. And then that's how I start, like every time just that's how I started noticing I'm progressing. I'm progressing in the right direction.
So who
So yeah.
was teaching you the game of basketball prior to, because your dad don't have no basketball background, your mom don't have no
No,
basketball. You only had the one
Yeah.
cousin that you mentioned, the female cousin.
Right.
Was she
Right.
the one that was showing you, or was you watching stuff and just going out and doing it? Who taught you before you got into Seed Academy? And I would imagine that they gave you some tutelage in Seed Academy.
So my cousin was like, and anytime she working out, like she gave me a ball and like make me go through the drills like that she was doing. She was like a small forward.
Okay.
So she making me go through the drills and like she was just, pushing me. Like this is after she finished her workouts. Like she would literally like push me into like, working out and trying to dribble the ball, I mean, the right way and all that stuff. So I was about 8, but throughout like those next 4 years, I got so much better because like even though she was training me, there's another coach that came. I mean, that was there in the neighborhood. Like he had a team, but he wanted me on his team so bad. But I was just like, no, I don't want to play. But I just want to play, for fun. 2-on-2, 3-on-3. That was it. So the guy also like he helped me big time, especially like when like my cousin like was there training, and then he came and helped her, and then he was helping me get better, and then eventually
mainly those. Now
mainly those two.
We're in Seed Academy in our teenage years. You make this top 40. You know what I'm saying? What's going through your mind? What's the next step, and what are they telling you?
So even before making it to the camp, so when I got to Seed Academy, those coaches that were like were in our neighborhood, so they was like just putting extra work with me. Like they were just doing a lot with me, man. I'm talking about like everything. They was like, okay, like over here, even though like you guys, the size, but like you see these kids, they had kids that were way taller than me and stuff. So they was just like putting a lot of emphasis on working a lot of, like dribbling, shooting and stuff like that. Things that was kind of shaky for me a little bit at that time, especially the dribbling part. And like they put a lot of emphasis on that. That helped me, take my game to the next level. I mean, not next level, but I'm saying like, one step further. And then, so
as you go, for sure.
So fast forward, I made to the top 40, played the All-Star game, had a great game. And then like, people start taking notice and things like that. So after that, like I spent 2 more years at Seed Academy and stuff. And actually 3 more years. And like throughout those years, I just kept getting better. Every year I'm getting better, and they working with me, and just like that, people like, with the camps we were going to, there was a lot of camps going on all across the world. And then like we played against some teams coming from Canada, played some teams like some team came from Canada, Senegal. Now the game that made me actually stood out the most was like when I played against college kids. So there was a team called Athlete in Action. So they have like bunch of college dudes playing. Like I'm talking about 2 guys from Kentucky, Valparaiso, St. John's, and all that stuff. So in their coaching staff, they have the St. John's basketball director, and also they have like Kentucky assistant coach. So it was like a team. So they came to Senegal, and they came there and like they put up like our pro team. They destroyed the pro team, and then and then when they came to see the academy, like so they saw all these kids, but we all tall. So they're like, okay, like the coach said, okay, like I'm gonna play against these kids then. So they playing against us. It was like a tie game the whole time. It was really good and stuff. So yeah.
Y'all was matched up with these guys coming from the United States. Did that blow your mind? Did that open your eyes? Like, hold up, man, I can get this done. Or was you expecting?
Yeah. So me, mind you, now I had no idea how the college system worked. At the time, I had no idea, like, which college is the biggest, what conference is the best. I had no idea. So that's when I stopped understanding a little bit like that. Even college, like this is the process. Like they recruit kids. Because but I had no idea. It's
still different over here in America when it comes to that. So you're like, wait, this is a whole nother level of information for me to take in.
But what I noticed was like the fact that they were stronger than me. Like even though I was keeping up and stuff, but there's a guy I was taller than him, and like we were guarding one another. Like at the time he was a small forward. Like he was a Kentucky guy. But dude was like like his strength was on another level. I'm like, okay, maybe if I was a little stronger, I could, do this better or do that better. But yeah, that's the only thing that was impressive. But everything else, basketball level and everything was kind of like, matched up, even though they beat us. But
Was y'all lifting weights in there or strictly basketball?
you know what? Like strictly running, push-ups, abs. That's it. Like everything was natural. Like that was natural. Now, we have my friend, like our big man, like he ended up going to Washington. Aziz, he was 7'1". He was the one like going to the weight room. Like he said, like, yo, like somebody tell me that I gotta lift weights and stuff like that in order to be successful. I'm like, okay, go ahead, knock yourself out. We ain't gonna tell the coaches. So
Right.
but
But that
yeah,
wasn't really a part of it. That was kind of what he was doing.
that
And
wasn't.
is that something that you see, even looking back, like at the Seed Academy, that would be beneficial? Do you see that same academy using that now?
Yeah. I mean, actually, now I heard like kids are lifting and stuff like that. But it's just like our coaches, they were more old school coaches. Even though like okay, they dealt with weights and all that, but they was like, okay, you guys are young. You guys like we don't want to stunt y'all growth or hurt your joints and stuff. So they were kind of terrified because that wasn't their expertise. We didn't have a strength and conditioning coach. Even though Caesar was like, it's like pretty big platform in Senegal. So all they did was like,
that's the evolution of the sports.
Of the sports, exactly. So
it grows, so quickly year to year.
Right.
So,
right.
To the end of the Seed Academy, dude, you've seen and played against some of these guys coming from some of the top colleges here in the United States, and you're like, man, I can keep up, but man, they got some strength behind them. You're starting to learn a little bit about this recruitment. What's the next step? How do we get from Seed Academy to the next step? Tell us about that.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying, like, so those guys, I started like, they kind of gave me like the understanding of how like the college system worked. Cause like the Kentucky guy, it was Bill Gillespie that was at that time with Kentucky. So Bill Gillespie, like, so I guess the guy called Bill Gillespie and talked to him, and then like they reached out and stuff. So I had no idea what they're talking about. I don't speak no English and stuff. But anyways, so and then also St. John's at that time, it was I think it was the AD that was there or somebody was there from St. John, and then they reached out, and Valparaiso and Delaware University, they actually came to Senegal. So that was the very first time. Okay, it was Delaware University and SMU. SMU Matt Doherty. So they came to Senegal. So they brought the SMU team because at that time they have two guys that was on the team. No, actually three Senegalese guys that play for.
So there's already been some people before you that's gone through the Seed Academy and ended up at some of these schools.
Yes, exactly. So the SMU, they got two guys that went to Seed Academy that ended up on SMU squad and stuff. They were from Senegal. So when they came to Senegal, it was the same summer they came there, and they was having little camps and stuff like playing, training and stuff like that. So the coaches like they were watching me play and stuff. So they came afterwards and started talking to me and said, "Yo, like, want to recruit you to come to our university later and stuff." So it was SMU. Delaware was the same way, and I had no idea which one is the best, conference or anything like that. So I was taking this exam that I didn't pass. So after I took that exam, I was forced to go to junior college. So when I went to JC, my first year I was redshirting.
Who's helping you with this decision, and how does the parents feel about you taking this next step to come to the United States?
So I mean, like, everything was Seed Academy. I'm gonna go to fall, and the coaches, they were helping me with a bunch of stuff. So I started working on a lot of stuff like the language and stuff. When I got to Texas, that was like those first years. That's what I was working on before even joining the school and start playing and all that stuff. So basically the education part.
You didn't even speak
like
English.
Just how to greet people. I could
you could say hello and that's about it.
Hello, bye, and stuff. That was it, man. That was it. I couldn't.
What language
My
do you?
na- my native language is called Wolof. It's the native language. It's and then like we speak French. So French is like the language like that people speak there. Wolof and French. So but yeah, English. I mean, like you take some courses, but they're teaching you good morning and like
Right.
I am such and such and so. But yeah, that
That's
was
a whole
it.
other element, but that's another element that goes to it because English,
Right,
honestly, what I'm saying the game of basketball is globalized, but
right.
the main hub of it is in America. So you know what I mean? That
Hmm.
language barrier, that's very, very that's cool to hear from your perspective. That's not something
Right,
from America that they have to
right.
pay for. So
Yeah,
now you end up going to a junior college in Texas.
in Texas. Yep, North
Talk to us
Texas.
about that. What school and how'd that go?
Grayson County College. So I got there. So basically, I got there, and before I got there, somebody, I have some close people that was in America. I mean, that like we know they were from Senegal and stuff. They're telling me that, even though like people been recruiting you all the way from back in Senegal, a couple years ago, whatever, those guys they really want you. They're gonna come, but like you're gonna see even bigger schools coming. Like, and then they gave me the idea saying like, okay, like some of these schools were mid majors, and like you have like guys like Kentucky, they was in the solid, the SEC is a big time
Breaking
conference,
it
and
down to you, the levels.
yeah, exactly. They start explaining to me the levels, and I still didn't get it, but
Like,
I was
all
like,
right, cool, that
okay.
sounds good, but where I'm hooping at?
Yeah, yeah. Where I'm hooping at now, like I'm glad I took care of like the school aspects, to get me ready for like JC. I mean, speak English a little bit at that time. I was already speaking the language and all this stuff,
What
and
part of
America
Texas
helped
was
me.
you? What part of Texas was you in?
Well, the school was in North Texas. What's the name? Grayson County College. So that's like it was in Denison or Sherman, Texas.
Sherman, Texas.
So yeah, so there was a junior college. They weren't so big time junior college. They weren't so big time, but like the coach that was there, Coach Patrick Rafferty, he turned things around. He turned things around, man. Like when we got there, my first year I was redshirting, and he was just prepping me, saying like, okay, this is still college basketball, even though it's junior college, but these guys, could went to like some of the big time colleges in the country, but they just have to take care of the grades and all that
Right.
stuff. Um, so yeah, he was just to let me know that like people are watching here, like a lot of people watching. So yeah, I mean, he's the guy, honestly, that like got me ready for like like for that level, man. To be honest, so
So what's it like?
yeah.
Is this a culture shock? You're coming from Senegal, the
Oh
city,
man,
a couple hours away from home.
yeah.
Now you're in Sherman, Texas, dude. I mean, you're a full ocean away from family, and you're here in the middle of Sherman, Texas, tucked off at a JUCO. And
Yeah,
for those people who don't know JUCO, they can run you into the ground, and they will run.
man.
So you got to be tough mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually,
Mhm.
a bit of all of that thing, man. What's going through your mind here as a red shirt? And then you're like, man, I got an opportunity. Was you homesick? Am I going to take advantage of this? Did you want to quit? Man, talk to us about that.
Man, it was tough. It was tough, man. Like especially you know, uh getting to Texas, before even going to, JJC and stuff. So getting to Texas and all that stuff, the language barrier, speaking to people, it was tough, man. Like to me, everybody like we're just speaking like a bunch of, I don't know, bro. Like it was just complicated. But as the years, I mean, as I was going, I started picking up everything, like the lifestyle, because like the culture definitely different.
Okay.
Like for instance, I'll just give you an example. So like so I was just hooping for my first time hooping, and so with some guys like this was when I was in Oak Cliff. So we just hooping. Some guy like so I made a move dunk, and the guy said, "Hey man, like you a bad, this that." I was like, so like he was complimenting me. So right, so me, I took that person. I'm like, oh, hey, yo, why this dude cursing me? Because like, you know what I'm
Why
saying.
you
So
talking to me that
yeah,
way?
exactly. So I was like, so I just made a move. I done. Why he saying that? So I had no idea. So, but anyways, that was just like, that just to give you an idea of how
Right.
culture difference and stuff. So and then like food was different. I was definitely homesick because Senegal was I was used to Senegal.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. So family, nobody was here. I was by myself. I had a host family. There was in Oak Cliff. It was cool. Oak Cliff was a great place to be. They helped me also, like, a lot, man, with a lot of stuff there, understanding a lot of things, and like they, mental toughness, like, okay, I already had it back, growing up in Africa,
When you
but I
come
came
from
here.
Africa, bro, like, I
So
can
yeah,
deal with this.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
culture shock, but it's embedded in me to deal with this. This is
Right, right.
fascinating. Like, this is stuff that a lot of people don't hear. So I appreciate
Hmm.
you breaking this down, man.
No,
But it ain't,
definitely, definitely.
it's not easy. But you're like, man, I
Uh-huh.
gotta take this opportunity, man. So how did it go? How did it go once you was able to get on the court?
Man, you know what? It was, you know what? My year, like my freshman year, it was a dominant year, man. Cause I, like I said, like that redshirt year, like helped me, like coach, like literally helped me get ready. I mean, I'm talking about like all kind of crazy trainings, man. I'm talking about like the running parts, all that. I was, lifting weights and everything. So like it got me ready. I had a dominant freshman year, at the JC, and then went to the top 120 JC camp. And there, like, just everything, took off. Like, you have all these letters from all these different schools, like Texas, Oklahoma State, a even Baylor, bunch of schools, man. And then, like, you have like the biggest schools, guys were traveling around, to come visit me, see me, and stuff like that. And I think like that year, just prep me better, like physically and everything, even like in the classroom and everything. I started doing a great job and stuff, killing all my subjects and stuff, taking care of business. So yeah.
So what's the thought process now, man? You're like, man, I'm starting to get accustomed. I'm hooping now. I'm doing my thing. And then not only that, man, there's people that are recognizing that. So I got schools. You still know the system, but not a whole lot. I'm assuming you're still
Not a
learning.
whole lot, yeah.
What's your thought process, man? You're like, hey, I want to go to this school or go to one of these schools and then do this, or you're just like, I'm just going to just take it, really just in small doses. How was your
Right.
process on that?
Well, at that time, I was like, okay, yo, I'm still in junior college. So I had time to figure things out, to figure out like which school would be the best fit for me. So
Okay.
I was like, okay, it's still early. So this the following year, my sophomore year, the coach was helping me as well. Like he was telling me like, okay, now like you already know how things are going here in America. So like the decision gonna be yours. But at the end of the day, like just like take a time and like see like which guy like would like like which fit. I mean, which program would be the best fit for you, and like your style of play and all that stuff, and like which program will help you accomplish academically, like what you are seeking, what you're here for, because education is very very important, you
Mhm.
know. And then like along with Gallo was right down the street. He was in Dallas, so
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 he was
yeah,
talking to you too. So you got, but that must have
yeah,
been kind of comforting. Somebody that you have, ties to from back home, pretty much.
yes, yes,
And he's
yes,
watching.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? This is still part of
yeah.
the student academy process. So
C Academy, yep.
yeah, you're one of the guys from there. So of course they still
Hmm.
gonna keep an eye out on that. So what school
Right.
did it come down to, and who do we select?
It came down to I nailed down the list and stuff, and I said, okay, either San Diego State or Cincinnati. So, even though I have like, I was in Texas, have Big 12 and all that stuff, but there's something attract me about San Diego State and Coach Fisher, Coach Fisher, he's a legend. So I was like, I mean,
Goes to
who wouldn't want to play? Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, who wouldn't want to play for him and
five.
stuff? And then you have Cincinnati. It's just I always like their style of play and all that stuff. Like you have Mick Cronin, and then and then like they're in the Big 12. I mean, like Big East. But the guys that came out of Cincinnati that I used to watch, and I really like their style of play. Kenyon Martin, Jason Maxwell, and they were down, they were living in the Texas too. So I got to run into them a couple of times. I was like, yo, like this school is, serious too. So
athletic,
so why not?
So
why not? So I was like, yeah, why not? But yeah, when it comes down to it, at first I committed to San Diego State after my visit, but so after the visit, I just sat down, like something just, so I'm just tapping it up with guys, man, like, and then like somebody say something about, oh yeah, like, I mean, you scared of the Big East, man, like, or something, like you don't want to go there. And so, and I just took it, like, honestly, I took it personal, and I was like, okay, why is he saying that? Like, what you mean? So I just, after thinking and all that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna reconsider everything. And I talked to Coach Fisher about it. I say, yeah, I'm just, go take a visit to Cincinnati and check it out. Because like at that time, the first visit I took was San Diego State, and I committed there. So I was like, okay, let me take my time.
I've been to San Diego.
Yeah, right.
Nothing wrong with that.
I remember telling
the best weather in the country.
I
get it, but you're like, there's still something I got to go check out Cincinnati.
There's something I still gotta go, I just gotta go look at, take a look at Cincinnati and stuff. So when I got there, I just fell in love with everything. The campus, it was easy to get around. Like you have like all these people, in the coaching staff. The assistant coach Savino was a great guy, man. He's from New Jersey too, actually. And yeah, so like great guy, man. Like he was the one recruiting me. Like you have like all the coaching staff, Coach Cronin. Even though people see like him getting hyped up, in TV, but like he's a great guy, man. And I was like, yeah. And then plus it's a Big East, man. I mean, I was like, yo, this is a hard-nosed conference. So just like that, man, I ended up going to Cincinnati for my junior and senior year. So yeah.
Oh, you're in the Big East. You came from Senegal, you went to Texas. The Seed Academy is working. So now we're in Cincinnati, which is a big time program, perennial top 25, hard nosed. They send guys to the NBA. Now we're there. Now you have to prove yourself again. You know what I mean? Like that's
right.
You're having to do. What's your thought process and how to go?
You know what? I got there, man, and I was just feeling like right at home for some reason because and then there was a little Senegalese community there too. So yeah. So they actually I found out the day where I visited. That's where I found out because
okay.
so I got there because Savino, he surprised me. Like we just went to a place. He was like, okay, yo, I'm gonna take you out to eat. Like he just took me to a Senegalese restaurant. I'm like, wow, they have a Senegalese restaurant. And I see a bunch of they have like all kind of stuff there, and they have all kind of like Senegalese culture. Like things that remind you of the culture there too. So it was like a big Senegalese community. So that made it feel like right at home. Even though my parents weren't there, but I was like, okay, like this is not, this is not too far from home now. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I got to, I'm in the Big East, man. Like the trainings, during the summer was crazy. It was on another level. Like it's very, very different from JC. Because you gotta be way stronger than what you was. Yeah. They pushing you. Like you have some crazy trainer. Actually, the trainer we had, he was like, he was a football trainer. So like he made us all put up pounds and crazy, man.
So yeah, Cincinnati for the most part is slow, so I can believe that.
Right. So the whole time he was just telling me saying hey man, you're gonna play power forward here, power forward center. Like these centers here, they're on another level. Like you got to get ready. Like they're gonna be strong. And that's my junior year, that's what it was. And then I ended up getting injured, and that injury kind of slowed me down a little bit. Especially as far as the way I used to play and all that stuff, I got hurt really bad. I got hurt on my ankle twice. Like I got 2 high ankle sprains on the same ankle. Wow. So this was the first time I got it. I was out for 1 month, and then the second, I got it right when I came back. Like the very first day, I got it. I twisted again. And I was supposed to be out. So Cronin was talking about me either redshirting, medical redshirt. But then we had a talk that was gonna be Yancey's last year, and he wanted me to play with him. and stuff. So that's how like we I decided that I'm gonna continue like playing, and then it was a great, man. It was a great run. We went all the way to the Sweet 16, ended up losing to Ohio, man. Ohio State beat us that junior year. But then senior year, man, came back, got even more, fit, like because we had a newer strength and conditioning guy. He came from the Bengals, but his idea was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna train you guys like true basketball players. You guys don't need to be like looking like football players. So like I lost like 30 pounds actually.
Wow.
Lost 30 pounds and in like one summer. I was feeling great, super fast, athletic, jumping out of the gym because that's the style, that's how I play.
Right.
The problem was like me and Crony had to talk. Usually I play power forward. So that year we didn't have no center like that. So he was like, okay, in the talk, like, okay, I want you to focus on playing the 5 this year. And we're gonna play 4 out, 1 in, play that way. Cause like like some of the guys that were there. Oh, sorry about that. Yes. Some of the guys like that came in had centers, they weren't ready yet to play into the big. So
the position.
Right. So yeah, so I moved the position, like play really, had a great senior year and stuff. So yeah, man. It was a great run for me, bro.
What's your thought process, you know what I'm saying, with that? Then you did have a really, really big rivalry. We gotta talk about the rivalry real quick with Xavier. We had a big situation to go on. Just touch upon that real quick and then we'll get out of there.
Right. I mean, oh man, like yeah, Xavier. I mean, like the school is like right. It's like right down the street, man. Like we used to go. Like I remember, like when I first got there, we just like we used to go there, like play, like hooping, like outside, man. Like with some of them dudes, bro. Like they used to like just talk trash, and then like we just meet up and just hooping, like I mean, we were cool like that. So it's like 5 minutes, 10 minutes from our campus. So yeah, but yeah, it's a big time rivalry, man. And like stuff happened. Like this was my junior year and stuff. So, but that started the summer when I first got on campus. Like that's where it started. So we have this thing called the Devil Rose League, where everybody, I mean, all the schools like not far, the whole Ohio. Like you have some players that come, like even some players that come from Ohio State. Yeah. So they came there. I mean, some pros were in it too. So they came and like we just hooping. So when I got there, they was like, okay, like the rules were like, okay, only 2 players that play together on the same squad in any university. Like, okay, like they can play together, but they cannot be more than 2, except if like these are like newcomers, they can join those 2 players and just play. So when I got there, 2 Holloway was on our team, like on the team that I was supposed to play, and 2 Cincinnati guys, because like it was, I think it was Yancey and Justin. They played, and Justin Jackson, they play already together in Cincinnati, like the previous year, and 2 was on the team. But when I got there, me and all the freshmen joined that team because it was like Yancey's team and Justin. And on the other side, it was the same thing too. Like Mark Lyons was there and another guy, and all the newcomers from the Xavier joined that team too. So basically, it was like Xavier versus Cincinnati, like in the summer though.
In the summertime.
Summertime. So like that gym, this was just like a summer league, and like the gym was packed, and I had no idea what's going on. I'm like, they were like, oh yeah, I mean, like we about to play, Xavier squad. I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Like they're not this a squad, and so they said no, like that's a rival team, bro. Like that's a must-win game, even though it's like summer league. I'm like, what? So, but yeah, just like that. That's when I started to know. I'm like, okay, Xavier is a big time rival for Cincinnati, and then things started that summer. All the trash talking and like guys bumping chests and stuff started, and then it escalated all the way until like game day during the regular season and stuff. Like all I remember was us coming to the tunnel and like guys discussing us out, like some players, like from when we walk in their house, they just talking crazy, and then like yeah, and then the referees didn't control the game well, and then it just escalated to like what happened afterwards, man.
We had a brawl. We had a brawl with everything. This is the part of the maturation of young men. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's part of your story. So we gotta touch upon that. It's all over ESPN and everything like that. I grew up with Two Holloway. He's from Hempstead. I'm from
Right,
Emory.
right.
We played on the
Yep,
same
yep.
summer
You
league.
told me. Yep, yep. You told me, bro.
So
You
I
told
got a
me.
guy that's
Yeah,
from
too.
Xavier, and I got a guy from Cincinnati. So fast forward, boss man, we're wrapping up Cincinnati and everything like that, man. What's the next step? What's on your mind going back from Seed Academy? Are we thinking about the NBA? Are we thinking about I'm just going to get my degree, and then on to my next step? What's the thought process for somebody going through the Seed Academy in Africa and coming up and playing in America?
Yeah. So for like when I first when I first came to America, like my main focus was the education part.
Okay.
So focus on the education part, and then so I started working hard like from like day one to trying to achieve that, because I wanted to be just like my dad. Like he was big on education, getting the degree. I was trying to be like a computer science guy, or like a computer engineer, just like him. But like when I was given the opportunity to hoop, also I took that. I'm like, yo, dad, like, listen, this can pay for education. Like the fact that I'm playing can pay for my education, and like that can help me achieve like a lot. A lot of stuff that I couldn't achieve if I was in Senegal, or if I was like trying to like just be like a regular student going to school and stuff like that. So fast forward, when I was about to finish, my main emphasis was like to finish strong, into the classrooms, and get my degree before anything else. So I ended up even graduating late. I graduated like around like it was late. I mean, I didn't even get a chance to go like to know like workouts or none of that stuff. Like I just stayed put, and like the opportunity I had was like I talked to my agent.
Okay.
Because at that time I signed with an agent, and and I was like, okay, my first priority is like graduate, getting my degree. He was like, okay, like I'm gonna work with you on that as well. Like he was very, very helpful with that. So as soon as I graduate, it was in it was a little late, bro. It was like early summer. So
Okay.
so like the opportunity he got for me was to travel to China for 2 weeks. With some NBA guys and some D League guys. Back then it was a D League. So I was the only one that's graduating from college that joined that squad, and like went to China on a basketball tour for 2 weeks, where like we played against the Chinese B team, national team, play against a bunch of teams like the Canadian national team. So just like for exposure, and like play some like some some CBA games, and that's when I was like, okay,
Really good
yeah.
competition.
So competition. So that's when I started seeing. I'm like, man, the CBA of China got a lot of money, man, and stuff. So I was doing everything I can. I'm like, yo, I want to stay here. Like, like I want this. Like, hold on. Boy, stop, man. Usman, Usman, Usman. Sorry, T. Sorry.
Good.
OJ, I'm on the phone, bro. Please. Thank you. Sorry about that. Kids, man.
That is.
Yeah. So yeah. But yeah. So yeah, when I got to China, man, and I was playing really, really, really well. But like the CBA is about like it's about like I mean you gotta have a resume, like you gotta have a professional resume. Even though I was playing really, really good and stuff, and I mean I was averaging like I mean for someone to play, I averaged like 13 and 8.
Yeah, in limited minutes. You know what I mean?
And like 4 blocks though.
Yeah.
What I'm saying?
You're like, I'm trying to stay in China, so I'm sure y'all can.
Yeah. But then like they're talking about like, oh yeah, these guys that play here, even though like we play against some like I mean national teams, I mean they're different from the CBA teams because like, they're more complete and
Right.
stuff. So like CBA, like you got some guys they be averaging 20 plus and 10 plus rebounds, but these are pros, they've been playing. So I ended up getting a deal going to Greece. And like the Greek league, first league, Greek league was on another level too at that time. But I had no idea. I'm like, okay, I'm familiar with the NBA because I play you know, in
Yeah, I
like
went
in
to the
America.
academy, so I heard about this. I met guys that are in there.
Exactly.
I don't know about the
Yes.
other world. I know it exists,
Yes.
but I have no idea how
Yeah.
it works.
Exactly. So like that was like the thing, you know, with me. I was like, okay, I'm going to Europe. I know Europe, like, you know, I know France because, you know, I speak French and stuff. But
Right.
other places I didn't know. But Greece was like on another level, man. Like I'm talking about like all those European leagues. They're like on another. They're like, I mean, you have some EuroLeague teams in them, and EuroLeague is very very close to the NBA level. You
Yep.
know, you have some crazy like killers playing.
Yep.
And like when I went to Greece, like my first professional career, I really like dominated there. I played really really well, even though my team wasn't as good. They weren't a playoff team, but my agent just used that opportunity so I can showcase myself and like, you know, so I can eventually get better opportunities. You know, like in the long run. So that's how my professional career started.
So what is it like being a professional, dude? Tell, you're how tall? How tall are you?
6'10".
6'10". So you already have that going for you. But there is a
Mhm.
lot of moving parts to basketball in the professional game. You even mentioned it. There's a
Right.
political side to it. You know what I mean? The networking
Hmm.
side. Do you have the right
Hmm.
agent? Do you have the right connection for this time? Is the timing right? You know what I mean? Are you on the right team? Is you have the right? You got a lot of moving parts because now there's money to be exchanged and made, and there's some things that are outside your control and just hooping. Are you recognizing this?
Yes, I mean, like when I got there, because like first of all, they offer you a contract and stuff like that. And, like you read the contract, you're like, okay, you know, this is my first professional contract. I just gotta perform, you know, because my agent, like he just like one thing he like made me understand was like, you know, the more you perform and dominate, like the more money you're gonna make for yourself, you know, in the long run. Because people are gonna be like saying, okay, yo, I want this guy on my team, you know. So like he made me understand that like early, and I was like, okay, so you know, my first contract, I was a college dude, man. Like I wasn't getting paid every month. So when they offered me my contract, like basically I just saw it. I'm like, okay, yo, like this is not bad. Like, you know, I'm a college person. You know,
Yep.
like I'm just coming off college. You know, I don't get money every month and stuff. So like, but my agent was like, I mean, this is nothing. This is just like to like, you know, like basically like that. I mean, that was like a big L, like
Yeah.
as they say, like so you're taking the L right now, and then later on, you know, like you're gonna just, you know,
It's
like
going
I mean, catch up
to a
on that.
bigger contract.
Yeah, yeah, it's exactly. But like I mean, like the move he made was like him putting me on the team. That's not a playoff team, but in the big league. You know, like the
You
Greek
get your
league.
numbers playing against the top teams, and you can show that footage and show your numbers and
Exactly.
into a bigger contract with even maybe a better team.
Exactly. So my very first professional game, like it was a it was an exhibition game against a team from Turkey. So I played with DJ Steffens on the same team. Like we got the same agent. So like the coach set us down and just talking about like you know the professional word, and then he was pointing this other team that was about to play. He said these guys making like banks, you know, and like like they they came from the same route you guys came, came from universities and stuff like that. If you guys just trust like the process and work hard, like you guys are gonna eventually get there. And my first game, like, I was just so hyped, but I have like 0 points. The way first game, I had 0 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 blocks. With 0 point, I was over like 7.
You got a
So
double double though.
I had the double though,
With no points.
but I was just so hyped. Like I wasn't just like shooting the ball correctly. I was just like overly excited, but I
Yeah.
couldn't, and I was playing against a 7'3" dude, like from Turkey, 7'3", and like the foreman was already 7-footer, and like they were both stronger. They can move. I'm like, these guys, like, they're different from college guys. Like, even though I went, with the, I went to China, they were more athletic. They were more athletic,
Yep.
and like they can move. Like, I'm like, okay, like these guys are bigger than me, and they can move just like me. But I gotta just try to,
I
figure it
gotta
out.
put it in the
You know.
video because this is how I'm about to earn my money.
So yeah. I mean, pretty much like I just like, after the game, I sat back down with the coach. Um, So the coach was like, okay, so let me ask you this: like, you was 0 for 7, right? And like, no, I mean, why didn't you go to to the free throw line not once? I was like, I don't know. He was like, because he was setting up for jumpers. Like, you kind of like got, these guys, like, just by their looks and how they play, like, got, they took you away from your game offensively. Now defensively, and I feel like, and he was telling me, scoring is a lot easier than making 10 blocks or rebounding. So like you definitely like could like score, but it's just like you let them dictate the way you play offensively.
So it's a learning lesson for you.
Yeah, exactly. So and I like basically like still at that moment I was still learning.
Absolutely. You're
So yeah,
constantly learning, man. Especially this ain't even your world. You coming from
right.
Senegal, you're not. This ain't even your world. So what's it been like, dude? Just being a professional, and then we're gonna spin it into something else that we're gonna talk about that's really special to you. Go ahead. Tell us
Right.
about being a professional, because you have that side of it with the business, but then you got that side of the expectation and
Hmm.
the actual hooping, and then you gotta take care of your body. Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff. Talk to us.
Yeah. I mean, it's professional. Like, I mean, the professional world. I mean, to me, it was a lot easier. As far as like, like the way they prep you and all that stuff. Like, they're more, like they're more, laid back with things. Like they help you with a lot of stuff. Like, you know, compared to college. College is on all level. Like you just doing all these drills, running, all this cardio work and stuff like that. So, but professionally, like just like before the season, of course, like you're gonna do, like some cardios, some like preseason, training. But it wasn't bad as college, and like you just take care of business. Like you just like basically like you just like getting paid to do what you like to do or like what you love to do. That's what it is. And like you just hooping and like do your best and like let the outcome take care of itself. At the end of the day, that's what it is. But yeah, like that helped me grow though. Like as far as like mentally, taking care of taking care of my body, by myself and stuff, not like relying on, like somebody to tell me what to do, like just like college, you still a kid, they tell you, okay, like you got this hour, from this hour to this hour, you got stretching or study hall. So now I don't have school no more. I'm just gonna be full out, into basketball and like do like little things that matters, like working on my craft because as a basketball player, there's always room to improve, you know, and taking care of the body, strong, strength and conditioning, all that stuff. Um, like but like yeah, pretty much the same thing, bro. Like over and over again, like throughout these years. I've been playing now professionally for a while now. I'm a vet in the game, quote unquote. So
You're a vet in the
yeah,
game. So let's go back to when this opportunity came for you to represent your country.
yeah.
Player, you played for the national team.
Right, right,
Now,
right,
talk to us about how that happened. Because you got to be one of the top players in your country to be able to do that,
right,
man. And how did that make
right,
you feel in your family?
right. Yeah. First of all, I mean, basketball it's been always like, like basketball got respected in Senegal because of the national team. They won the AfroBasket in 1997. You know, all little kids like was like seeing that. Like we all have like that image. In our brains still, like in our minds, like when like they were handing them like the cup and all that stuff. We were like, wow, like these guys just made it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
They
so
did.
national team is like a big deal in Senegal. And like, as I was growing up and playing and all that stuff, I was like, okay, eventually this is one of my goals. This is my main goal, like to wear the Senegalese uniforms someday. And I remember in 2006 when they went to the World Cup, they were playing, and I mean, they gave me an extra boost. Like I will never forget this. They played against China. They played against China. Yao Ming, like he was like he's
Now,
an
me,
NBA superstar. So Yao Ming, I'm talking about like destroying, like some of the bigs over there, and I was like, wow, like this is crazy. And like when I play for the national team, I will do my best, like not to let this
we
happen,
can't let that
but
happen
like
again. I can't let that
yeah,
happen.
yeah, exactly. But like, like I mean, this is just this is just the kid talking, and they're like, when they play USA team against like the young LeBron, Bosh, and D Wade, and all that stuff. Like, I remember one of the, So I remember one of the guys. So I was like, no, I would never let this happen. So I knew one of the guys that was on the team, on the national team.
Right.
He was guarding LeBron. Like, so when he came, like, I was just like, man, how can you lose, guys? I mean, how can you guys lose to the USA just like that, man? Like, they destroy you guys. You guys got embarrassed. And he was telling me, like, you know what? Someday you will understand. Like, that's all he kept saying. That's all he kept saying. And he trying to like describe guarding LeBron. I'm like, nah, man, like, you just hyping him up. All I remember, all I remember was him. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, and then he was, kept telling me, hey, yo, young fella, like someday you're gonna play with the national team. You will see some dogs out there like, that you're gonna play against.
Right.
And then that's what happened. Like, so I was in Italy, playing for a EuroLeague team, and then like we ended up, we didn't go in the playoffs in the EuroLeague, but like we ended up winning like the Italian Cups, all three of them. Like we won the Italian Cup, so like that's a big deal too.
That's a big deal too. At party time.
So like the national team reached out, and like the coach at that time, he saw me. Actually, he was with Delaware University when I was a kid. When they came to visit, he was with Delaware University. Like, so he's a net head coach now. He just, everybody talking about it back home in Senegal. They're like, oh yeah, he won the Italian Cups and stuff. And he's like, okay, I want you to come play. So, and then when I was in college, so he was talking to me about like, okay, you're gonna play with your buddy Gorgisi Jang. He was playing with the Minnesota Timberwolves at the time. And I played against him in college too, because he went to Louisville.
Yep.
And stuff. So just like that, joining the national team, like this was the Afro basket that we were playing, man. And like, it's just been a great experience, man. Like, cause like that platform took me like to many places. Playing for the national team and then playing against like a lot of big time teams. And yeah, it was great. That was my first time playing against not my first time, but like that gave me the opportunity to play against the Gasol brothers. Which was like,
that's a tough duo.
Like it was crazy, man. It was great. So like when I was playing against them, all that kept replaying in my mind was like what my big bro, my guy told me way back in the day. He said, someday you will understand.
You'll understand.
So I'm like, I'm playing against these two brothers like that, NBA All Stars, and like it was a different ball game, man. I'm telling you, like I'm like, yo, like these guys, like they've been business. And this is Marc Gasol, like in his prime, and Paul Gasol too. Like, man, I'm talking about like, man, guarding Paul Gasol was the most was the toughest thing, man, because this dude is like, super tall, like can go either hand.
Yeah, either hand, a lot of length, skill, finish with hands, pass,
and pass and all that.
It's deceptive, and so I get it,
deceptive. Bro. So yeah, but I mean, like it is just a blessing, man. Like the fact that I got to represent, my home country and stuff, and like the whole family proud and all that. So it's a great blessing.
So you got this thing, man. We tying all this thing in, man. You started off with judo and soccer, and now you got basketball that's taking you all around the world. A family now, man. How's that situation going? I see you stop somebody, man. What's going on with that? You got youth coming up, man. You're a vet now. Like, did you even envision it kind of going like this? And how's it been, overall, man, when you kind of just take a snapshot of it, because this is fascinating.
No, I mean, man, it's been going great, man. I'm like, living a great life, man. All thanks to like, my background. Like my parents taught me a lot, about my culture and our principles and all that stuff, and like what matters the most. Family, like you already know, also like family is a big thing. It's a great, it's a big blessing, from God and stuff. So, and and then like I'm still learning too. I'm still learning, man. Getting better as a father, as a husband and everything. Getting better every day. Like you hear the boys out there turning it up in the background, and so I can't even stop them. They know I'm on the Zoom call, so like they're doing that on purpose. But yeah, man. I mean, like yeah, now like it's just helping out like the youth, man, coming after me. I have my little brother. He's a hooper. That I was telling you about. And like, I feel like he's gonna be next, in line. And then after that, of course, hopefully my kids. So, just helping out like the youth and like whoever like cross paths with me, you know, as far as like a basketball or coming from back home in Senegal, you know, I can kind of help them understand, you know, like, or like, you know, be that big brother that they, you know, that I didn't have, you know, coming up. Because it was tough at the beginning, you know, like you don't have nobody, you know, telling you this, telling you that, guiding you. But like, that's why I went through that. So some of those people won't be going through what I've been through, or like they're going to have it a little easier maybe, you know, because of that. So
Yeah, you kind
that's
of
the plan.
blazed the trail, and I've been fortunate to know you, you know what I'm saying, on a personal level, and you also gave
Right.
me the opportunity to help you in the part of your professional
Yeah,
career as your trainer.
definitely.
Because you
Definitely.
recognize how important, you know, taking care of your body. But I want to thank you
Definitely.
personally for giving me the opportunity with me, you know, starting up. You're my
Mhm.
first pro athlete. You said, man, I
Yeah.
what you got going on, man. And this is years ago now, man. But we
Man,
opened the door for me.
man, listen, man. You're the one that honestly like saved my career, bro. Like to be honest, because like I mean, I got injured like during the season, bro. You know, and I was like out, you know, for like 2 months, and I was like, like when you get certain injuries and like you get surgery, and especially on your ankle, that was the same ankle that I got in college. You know, that got activated through, like doing my pro career. And then like, I got that taken care of. And like, you like one of the first guys that like literally like helped me with that, man. And I really appreciate you, bro. And like where you're at today, it's just like your hard work and dedication that put you there, nothing else. And like, people just pay attention. Especially in America, people pay attention of like, hard work and all that stuff. And and like you're just the guy that like like that people should go to, man, for real. And I always appreciate you, bro. And like it's always love, man. You already know that.
Yeah,
So yeah, man.
beginning, man. You was the first pro athlete when I started up
Right.
the Fit Lab. You showed me love and was like, man, I trust you enough to help me, and it's been
Mm,
love ever since, man. So,
definitely, man.
where you sitting at, man? Because you're in a different time zone. What part of the world are you at right now?
Boy, man, like right now it's like, let me see, man. It's 11, man, 11:58 a.m. Like it's about to be 12 p.m. here. I'm in Japan,
Is it
like
good?
14. Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you guys are 14 hours like behind us and stuff, man. So like you guys are still on what, like Sunday? It's still Sunday there.
Right now it's about to be 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
Yeah. 7 o'clock on Sunday. I'm on my Monday morning, man. About to Monday afternoon here.
We
So
drinking
yeah,
coffee type stuff, and we about to go get ready and go to bed. But
right.
this is also just to highlight, you know what I'm saying, your dedication, your hard work, and then also the opportunity that comes with basketball. Because
Right.
basketball is a career, it's also
Sorry, P. Hey man. Sorry about that, man. I mean, the boys, I got two boys, man. Sorry.
So it's also
Yeah,
an experience, but it creates a lot of branches off the tree. And we're talking to
right.
somebody who's done that because you talked about how important the education was, and then also tying into helping the youth. And these are the things that you're able to do because you've been in different parts of the country, you've been in different parts of the world, in different
Mm-hmm.
countries. You represented your national team. You played in America. You played all over. So you're getting networking and connections unlike most people. And because you're such a good guy, this can help you set up youth. Is that fair to say?
Right. Yeah, definitely, man. Especially like with the experience, with the experiences I gained, throughout my whole career, like what led me up to this point. I feel like I can like do big things and help like definitely like I was saying help like the youth, man, like to make it easy on them. Isaiah Usman, Isaiah, I'm so sorry, man. That's
That's
the
right.
voice.
You're on the phone a little long.
Look, I'm on the Zoom call, man, and like everybody can hear you. Usman, come here, come here, come here.
He's been on the call a little bit too long.
He's he's shy now, like he's running around. Everybody can hear you.
Yeah.
Stop. Sorry about that, man.
Good,
But
man.
yeah, like I was saying, man, like it's a, it's just like I feel like like this is given. I mean, this whole route is given to me, so I can make it easier, or maybe at least easier, or like have an impact on like some kids coming up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like as a basketball guy, that's my obligation. Like help out and in any way possible. Um, like that's one of the plans that I have in the future. Thinking about going back and like do things to give back to my community and my country. Maybe like having basketball camps and located like the next generation to come up and stuff and just help them with that. So definitely, bro.
Absolutely, man. Listen, we could sit and continue to talk for days on end, man. We got a
Definitely.
lot of information that we can go over. So I really
Right.
appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, especially right now you got to be on dad mode. But
Right.
thank you, man. You're clear across the world. That is, you're clear across
Mhm.
the world. And I just want to say thank you because man, we're gonna have people all over the world watching this. And
Definitely.
before we end, man, give some of the people, you know what I mean, whether it be parents, adults, or youth coming up, looking to get involved with sports, and give them a nugget, you know what I'm saying? Tie this thing in a bow, man, before we close out.
Well, I mean, like for whoever listening to this, like just always like chase your dreams and like believe in yourself. And nobody gonna put a lot of and nobody gonna do that for you. Like at the end of the day, like the only person that can stop you is yourself. Like and I'm a living proof of it. Like I've been through like a lot of up and downs in my life. But like that never took me away from the path that I want to follow. Whether it is like my culture or like where I want to get to, as a basketball player or like education. And then just take care of education, especially that part right there, because it's very very important. Because and no telling what's going to happen tomorrow. Guy, you may get injured or anything can happen, or like you may retire someday at basketball, but like and then you got you put the education to work, maybe realize some of your plans and help out so many kids. So at the end of the day it should be like a chance cycle. Like you just help out like some kids, and then those kids gonna grow up and help out other kids, and then it's just gonna be like that. But I just want to personally thank you, man. Thank you for your time as well. I know it's late there, of course. Like you gotta do, like you have other things to do as well, man. But I appreciate you taking your time, letting me tell my little, humble story to the world, man. And always, man, I appreciate you always, bro. I appreciate you always, and always love, man. This way, bro. You already know.
For sure, man. This is beautiful, man. So what we're trying to do is build up this content that gives free game, especially to the up and coming youth.
Right,
But really to anybody
right.
that's watching, man. I just want to celebrate your success, man. Like, what I'm saying,
Appreciate it.
this is one chapter that we're talking about of many. And we're gonna be prayerfully saying that there's many to come. But I just
Mhm,
want to highlight you as not just an athlete, man, but just as a man. You've been a great
mhm.
friend of mine, and it's been a blessing to have
Definitely,
you in my life. It's been really cool to watch, what I'm saying, your story, and it's even better to hear the backstory. You know what I mean? So I think
definitely.
the story is going to help out somebody, and that's really
No,
what.
for sure.
So thank you for sharing this platform.
Man, my pleasure, bro. Like you already know, man. Like always, man. It's always a pleasure, like talking to you and catching up with you, man. And again, like like basketball, basketball just brought us here today. Like it's a, basketball is a small word, and like it's, it connects people with different backgrounds, different cultures, and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, this is a blessing, bro. Like the fact, like the opportunity that I have, like to know you and like you've been like taking care of me, I mean helping me get better with my strength and conditioning, and like be the best player I can be on the court as well, because like you was giving me some tips like this past summer, man. Like on the basketball court, it's not only weights, But like, you know, I just want people to understand that like you have the talent to where like you can train someone that plays baseball or volleyball, basketball, and do all those things on the court, you know, on court stuff. Like, you know, so yeah, I mean, that's a blessing to know you, bro. So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you, man.
Thank you, man. Much love, man. I know you got to get back to dad duty and husband
Yeah, I gotta.
and everything. So, man, I don't want to take up too much of your time, man. It's been a blessing, man, and much love.
Man, peace, man. Love you, man. You know,
Praise
take care,
God.
brother.
Y'all
Yeah,
make
man.
sure
All
y'all
right, boy.
hit that subscribe button. Make sure y'all click that bell so y'all can get notified when this beautiful content come out. All right?
Definitely. All right, boy.
Boss.
Bye-bye.
All right,
All right,
cheers.
boy.